The scene of Arnold and Franco practicing their posing with the ballerina in the opening scene of Pumping Iron provides a poignant lesson in the mastery of craft and an even more far-reaching metaphor for life. A competitor's time on the stage, she explains, are about more than just the mandatory poses, but also those in-between moments where the eyes of the audience and judges are scrutinizing the transitions. A champion's ultimate legacy isn't solely decided in those times of glory, but in those in-between moments where the audience are always watching and forming opinions based on the display of one's values and the congruence of their words, actions, and decisions. In an era where social media amplify public scrutiny and criticism to unprecedented levels, perhaps no bodybuilding champion faced more intense scrutiny of their in-between moments than Phil Heath. The latest documentary, Breaking Olympia, analyses the trajectory of Heath's complicated career, offering a revealing window into the life of one of professional bodybuilding's most divisive, polarizing, and controversial figures. We last saw Heath in the disastrous documentary Generation Iron, which did neither its ensemble of unfortunates nor the sport of bodybuilding any favours, casting Heath as the arrogant villain, pitted against the even more misplaced underdog Kai Green. Despite that film's poor reception, it was at least a fitting time capsule exposing just how far the sport had fallen in terms of its prestige and mainstream acceptance, spotlighting just how uninspiring and lackluster the sport had become. Heath was perhaps unfairly dismissed as the best of a mediocre generation, situated in the most boring era of bodybuilding. But as public sentiment turned against the sport, Heath found himself cast as the unwitting poster boy for the ensuing tidal wave of criticism and negativity. Breaking Olympia attempts to challenge these lingering perceptions, painting a more nuanced portrait of a champion fighting for validation in an era footnoted by a tumultuous and controversial reign. Heath's meteoric rise came all too easy in the eyes of many fans. Clean-cut and boring, pampered and privileged, Heath presented an impressive X-frame minus the X-factor quality of charisma, responsible for establishing previous champions' iconic and enduring footprints in the annals of the Iron Game. Compared to blue-collar mass monster predecessors like Dorian Yates and Ronnie Coleman, Heath's competitive backstory lacked the compelling narrative of champions past, or relatable hardcore inspiration the fans craved. His seemingly lazy approach to training scored him few points in a sport which celebrates underdogs and extreme blue-collar work ethic. Thanks to the unique lens of a nascent social media and subsequent decline of the magazine era, Heath's public persona likewise lacked the buffer of industry journalists who had moulded, finessed, and protected the image of its former icons. The thin-skinned Heath, one of the first to navigate his way through the present social media shitshow, rubbed fans the wrong way, spending time firing back at faceless trolls on the internet, which only further magnified his arrogance and aloof condescension. In an attempt to humanize Heath, the documentary tries hard to set the record straight, presenting Phil as a driven yet flawed figure, haunted by the pain of past failures and tragedies, hungry for redemption and vindication. The film touches on some fascinating themes: the mental and physical anguish of elite bodybuilding, the fleeting nature of glory, the struggle to gracefully exit the stage. We see Heath's dedication and insecurity, his struggle to connect with fans, delving into the root of Heath's divisiveness. Moments with Heath's fiancée Cherie Cremona and reflections on his late father add a veneer of depth and vulnerability. Yet the humanistic portrayal reads superficial and at times a little over-contrived. Heath's rise from high school basketball standout to bodybuilding royalty is framed as a triumph over adversity, yet the film glosses over the details of his supposed hardships. His complaints about the lies and politics of college coaching ring hollow, minus any concrete specifics, and his scholarship squandering stint as a small fish in a big pond comes across as self-indulgent whining rather than a tale of genuine struggle. Even Heath's solipsistic reflections on an attempt to take his own life feel overwrought, with his observation that life just isn't fair, ringing hollow, given his full-ride scholarship, his incredible genetic gifts, his subsequent rapid success in bodybuilding with Heath being handpicked and promoted by none other than champion Golden Boy Jay Cutler as the sport's next big thing. Gifts aren't earned, they're merely given or received, and this is encapsulated in his self-appointed moniker. Indeed, Heath often appears more lucky than good, his success attributed to genetics rather than the grit and determination that define more compelling sports narratives. While Breaking Olympia provides an entertaining glimpse into Heath's contest prep regimen and the unique subculture of elite bodybuilding, it often feels more like a carefully curated promotional vehicle for Heath rather than an objective documentary or immersive character study. We see Phil pumping iron and hear vague platitudes about hard work and sacrifice, but are left wondering what specific challenges he's overcome, or even why his physique reigns supreme. It skirts some of the thornier aspects of Heath's career and the controversies that often overshadowed his achievements, missing opportunities to probe deeper into his psyche and the complexities of his legacy. To this, the guilty pleasure side of me would have liked to have seen addressed any of the numerous tabloid in-between moments. The allegedly stolen $100,000 bracelet, the public feud with Arnold, the acrimonious split with his own supplement company, or the abandoned first wife at the height of his career peak and her cancer battle. The film touts the huge amount of discipline required to excel in bodybuilding, but it never completely reconciles this with the unbridled celebration of unrestrained excess of the physiques on display. The extreme eating, dieting, and training feel closer to disordered behavior than athletic dedication, and the film misses an opportunity to critically examine the physical and psychological toll on its participants. Director Brett Harvey seems content to preach to the choir with no attempt made to convert the uninitiated. It simply assumes viewers will be awed by the bizarre spectacle of grotesquely muscle-bound men contorting on stage. But in truth, it provides little insight into the rules, judging criteria, or training regimens that define the sport. The film builds to a climax at the 2020 Mr. Olympia competition, where Heath battles more his own aging body and self-doubt, rather than any credible, let alone formidable, lineup of rivals. The onstage drama is heightened with some beautiful behind-the-scenes cinematography, offering a rare gravitas to the intensity of prejudging pump-ups and tension among the competitors. For die-hard fans, the film offers an entertaining yet filtered glimpse into Heath's world, but for the non-bodybuilding audience, it's a potentially frustrating, opaque portrait of an insular subculture amounting to a missed opportunity. For all its impressive production values and visual flair, Breaking Olympia ultimately feels constrained by its narrow focus on Heath's comeback narrative. With its epic 2-hour runtime, Breaking Olympia serves as a fitting, if somewhat superficial tribute to one of bodybuilding's most accomplished and enigmatic figures. The film ultimately leaves us with more questions than answers, and a lingering sense that perhaps some stones are better left unturned. While it falls short of being a definitive character study, it nonetheless offers a compelling snapshot of a champion in winter, grappling with his mortality and fighting with one last moment in the sun.